What's up, everybody? John Eric Poli here with My MMA News, and today's guest will be fighting Parker Porter at UFC 284 on February 11th. Let's welcome to the program Justin Tafa. Justin, thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate the time.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me.
So let's begin here today with the fact that this is your first fight since 2021. Just how excited are you for this opportunity to return to the octagon, to get to go out and compete, and to do it in Australia too, of all places?
Yeah, man, it's been a long layoff, but once I heard Perth was on the, what was announced, I had to get on this card, man. My family didn't get this chance much to come by, being in the hometown. But man, I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm sure a lot of positives here with this fight being in Australia, right? Because there's no long flights over here to the United States, no visas, anything that goes into these travels. Because the travel situation for a lot of you fighters that aren't from the States, it can get really tricky, get very difficult. It can be a pain in the ass. Just how happy are you that you don't have to put up with any of that this time around?
Yeah, man. I remember my last fight, I had to travel 3 or 4 states just to get my visa and then try to balance training in between all of that. Now I can just catch a flight a few hours and I'm back home drinking at my house.
Yeah, man, I hear you there. Let's get into training now here a little bit. Obviously, training camp's going on right now as we're recording this. Just how's camp been going?
Yeah, man. I've trained the hardest I've ever trained for this fight. Been in the deep trenches, man. Just been sore this whole camp, I think, and the boys around me have been keeping me honest with sparring, and I've been playing my part and making sure I'm eating right and recovering good. So, man, just ticking all the boxes.
And I know in that answer there you had mentioned nutrition. I actually wanted to ask you about that a little bit because the last time that you fought, you missed weight. I think you were the first heavyweight in UFC history to miss weight in a fight. I know the internet was really harsh about that afterwards too, and I don't think a lot of people realize that there is a 265-pound weight limit, and there's a lot of you fighters that are in the heavyweight division that weigh more than that, and you have to cut down to that weight. There still is a weight cut process involved for heavyweights out there. You obviously are one of them. We mentioned before with travel and everything. I don't think people realize that a lot goes into some of these weight cuts for heavyweights out there. So just kind of speak about that, kind of enlighten people on some of those things that they might not realize, and then just how you kind of are, approaching this nutrition and making sure that you will weigh in on weight on fight night.
Yeah, man. If I had chicken legs, I'll be a middleweight. But the way my legs are built, bro, I'm a heavy guy, bro. Like I'm built solid. So yeah, I've cut weight my whole career to make heavyweight. I don't think I've been 120 since I was 19. And but yeah, I fixed a few of these areas from my last camp, and there was no excuses. But and when you travel a lot and travel different states, you spend a few days here, spend 5 days here, spend a week there. You can't really build momentum and get a solid routine and eat right. You're traveling to different spots, but this time I've been at home and I've been just training, and the missus has been cooking my feeds, and man, I'm good, bro. I'm ready.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I don't think people realize just how much that travel really affects a lot of the fighters too, especially when you got to travel far, which you usually have to do for fights. Let's move on to another topic now, dealing with your return. The topic of ring rust. I know every fighter has different theories on it. A lot of fighters think that, yeah, there is such thing and it may take a few seconds or minutes to kind of get themselves eased into a fight. Other fighters say, man, that doesn't exist at all. I'm in the gym training every day. Maybe it wasn't an actual fight inside of the octagon on a fight night, but I've been working every day. I haven't missed a beat. Just your thoughts on the topic and kind of how you think about it for fight night.
Yeah, no, I think if you're maybe 2 years plus out of the cage, I think the ring rust will start to apply. But it's just been over a year, and oh man, my sparrings aren't little touchy sparring sessions. some deep waters. So I think it simulates the fight quite well, and I get that same kind of feel. So I didn't feel I'll have too much ring rust.
And with there being a year-long layoff, I mean, sometimes there could be benefits to it. You know, you're able to rest the mind, you're able to physically heal up. Just when you look back on that time away from the octagon, were you able to do some of those things physically, mentally, get into a better spot, or not so much?
I was a bit different for myself, two major surgeries, so a lot of energy went towards rehab and recovery, and at the same time helping my team as well with their fighting careers and making sure I was keeping them honest too. So it was a good thing that I kind of did have that rest, but at the same time it was still busy enough to keep my mind at ease.
Gotcha. Let's get into some fight specifics now. Let's start here with your opponent and Parker Porter. Just what have you seen out of him as you've been studying him for this upcoming fight here at UFC 284?
Yeah, I've seen he brings a lot of pressure coming forward and likes to throw it down, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I expect he's gonna do that the same in Perth, and he's gonna come in like a bull. He's gonna meet a different kind of bull.
And one of the cool things about my job is that I obviously get to speak to a lot of fighters and do these types of interviews. And I actually got to interview your opponent as well recently. And he said when he thinks of this matchup, he sees a slugfest going on here and that you guys have similar styles. Do you agree with that? You think we're in for a slugfest here?
And a lot of people say that I'm a slugger and that, but then people are starting to know that there's methods behind the madness in some sense, and I'm gonna showcase that in Perth, man.
Well, man, I'm really looking forward to this fight. And another thing that's cool about this fight that I'm going to ask you about is the placement of it. And I'm going to ask this question knowing that all cards are subject to change and that plenty of these times in the past when I've done these interviews that I would say that a fight's on a main card and it gets switched up last minute. But for the time being, at the time of recording this, you're on the main card of a massive pay-per-view event. Is that exciting to you or not really? You don't care where you're placed at on a card?
Yeah, man, I care less. I come to fight, man. I come down to bite on my mouth guard and throw a leather. No matter if there's one person or 100 people, I'm there just to win that fight. That's what drives me is the competition and doing right by my team and by my family. And there could be 1,000 people there or 100,000. I don't care, man. I want to come in there and knock you out.
All right. Well, I know you don't care about placement on the card, but I'm going to ask one more specific question here about this fight card, and that's with the main event. Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight champion, moving up to challenge Islam Makhachev for his 155-pound title. Champ versus champ, not a everyday occurrence in the UFC, so it's a huge matchup. A lot of fans are looking forward to this fight, me included. Just wanted to get your thoughts. I don't know if you have a prediction or not, but just wanted to just get your thoughts on this matchup.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to watch that fight. I'm a big fan of both fighters, but I'm more of a fan and a supporter of Alex Volkanovski. I think he's a very underrated champion. People don't give him the respect that he deserves, man. He's beaten Max Holloway, who people were saying was the greatest featherweight. He's beaten him a few times now, and what he did to Korean Zombie, man, it looked like, I've never seen someone do that to someone like that of that caliber. Yeah, people are still doubting him. But man, I feel like people are going to really respect him after this fight. No matter what the outcome is, they're going to see that there's levels, man, and there's a reason why he's number one pound for pound. And I think he gets the job done. Honestly, I think people are going to get shocked at the speed difference, the movement and his arrogance to not stay down too, man, is something, man. He's Greek, I think, and yeah, they're arrogant people.
So you're going with Volkanovski. You're obviously very confident you're going to go out and get a win. You guys are two of several Australian fighters on this card. So I have to ask, are you expecting an Australian domination on this fight card?
Yeah, man, I hope so. I wish all the best to all the Aussies there. I'll be there for my little brother who's fighting in the prelims. I'm backing him up, and yeah, man, should be a good showcase of where Australia and New Zealand MMA is right now compared to the like on the world scene.
So I'm glad that you brought up your brother before there. I wanted to actually ask you about your brother, just how proud you are of him and everything he's been able to accomplish so far in the sport.
Man, very proud. He's he worked really hard to get at this at the place that he is now, but wasn't really shocked. It was something that was going to come in the end, and he's a very talented fighter, man, and I can't wait to the crowd hear him speak his shit because he's got a personality on him, and back it up with the big KOs that he's already shown.
And then finally, I just got one last thing for you here before we wrap things up. I saw recently on your Instagram that you were in Tokyo. It looks like it's a pretty cool city. I'm not going to lie. You got to experience it all there. What was it like getting to take in the scenes there of Tokyo?
Man, I recommend that place to anyone, man, especially the fight fans. If there's a fight show there, Tokyo was the best city I've been to. The people there are just really respectful and really educated MMA fans. I was getting souvenirs and getting sketches, and I was like, man, but they're really respectful with their way that they came about it too. And Saitama Arena, man, there's a lot of memories there, historical moments there for MMA. And I got to go there and witness it, call on my brother, and meet some greats like Royce Gracie and Rampage Jackson and Sakuraba, guys that I used to watch on YouTube and think were a circus act. Man, I got to see them in person and meet them and talk to them. Man, I recommend anyone go there to Tokyo. Man, it's like a mythical place for MMA. Eh?
All right, man. Really appreciate all the time here today. It's been fun talking with you. Just last thing before you roll out, you want to plug your social media so people know where to follow you at. You have any management or sponsorships or anything along those lines that you need to plug? You get the last word here. Floor is yours.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everyone that supports me. You guys know who you are. Yeah, follow my Insta's Justin Tafa. If you want to see some fireworks, make sure you watch 284. We come in there to put on a slugfest.
All right, Justin, thanks again, man, for all the time here today. Really appreciate it, and I appreciated everyone that watched today's interview. For everybody out there, again, just want to remind everybody that Justin will be fighting Parker Porter at UFC 284, that fight date, February 11th. So thanks so much for watching today, guys. Just do me one favor before you head out today. If you like today's interview, make sure to go to the bottom, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure you guys are keeping your tabs on MyMMANews.com. Go to our social media pages, give us a like and a follow on there as well. We'll see you later, everybody.